And do you want your futuristic e-cigarette like you're a bounty hunter from a sci-fi movie?
Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special episode of Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve, EP edition. I'm Steve.
And I'm Dave.
And today, we are taking a look at an EP from the band QUEENSRÂCHE. Dave, what do you know about the band QUEENSRÂCHE?
Not a whole lot. I wasn't even sure how to pronounce their name until you said it. You know, like I've seen them, can't say that I know much about them.
I'm sure you know their big hit, Silent Lucidity, right?
Yeah.
One of the corniest songs ever. Well, eventually, next season, I'm going to bring in the Operation Mindcrime album because it's one of the best concept albums I've ever listened to. And it's got like a anti-government / killer for hire plot that I think you'll really like. So I'm kind of using this as a primer to get you introduced to the band a little bit.
Before jumping into the concept album?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This album is their first release, released in 1982. Originally, it was released independently through 206 Records. So when they were first starting out, they weren't able to really find a record label. They didn't even have a singer. The singer, Jeff Tate, that's on this, they just basically hired him to do it. And then when it worked out, he just continued being their singer.
It's kind of weird. That's usually the first role that gets filled.
Yeah, you'd think. They were just having a hard time finding a singer, and he just kind of did it as a favor. And then when the EP got attention, he's like, oh, well, I guess I'm in that band now. It actually became kind of a thing when they all hated each other later, and they were all in lawsuits, and they were like, well, Jeff Tate didn't even originally want to be in the band, as if it, like, at that point, it really mattered, because it's like, it's 30 years later, like, we're not going to argue over the EP lineup.
Yeah. Like he was in the band for everything that mattered, so...
Yeah. And it's like, when the band was splitting up, Jeff Tate got really fucking ugly, so I understand why people were kind of like, that guy's a douche. But yeah, he was immensely important to the QUEENSRÂCHE legacy. So despite him being a douche and him making a lot of really bad albums under his songwriting lead, early on, his vocals and his songwritings were just integral to this band. So I explained to you when I pulled this out that I have 2 copies of this. And that is because I have the independently released 206 Records copy. And I also have the later released EMI copy. So, yeah.
An unlimited supply.
I think I found the 206 version, like, I don't remember exactly where I found it, but it was one of those, like, random thrift store bins where I was like, what the hell? Because I think these are pretty rare. It doesn't have the inserts, it's just the record inside the cardboard sleeve, so that's long gone. But otherwise, yeah, I have a independent released version of this.
All right.
And yeah, go ahead and describe the cover there.
Okay, black cover, black like night and darkness, and all that. There's the band's name written in kind of creepy heavy metal font. Not the really spidery one that's impossible to read. Like I can tell what it says. I can identify each letter individually. Kind of cool graphic design there. That's in gold with a purple outline. Then there's a border around it with like interweaving like gold and purple squares.
And just to note, the EMI copy is the same, but I've noticed the purple's just a little darker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's... I think there's also a few changes on the back, but overall, yeah, the sleeve's exactly the same, except for a few color changes.
And then, yeah, on the back, there's... The text looks like it's the back of, like, a 1990s, like, Might and Magic computer game type of thing. It's in that font. And then I see, it looks like, oh, they have Jeff Tate in the middle. So I guess, you do still put the vocalist in the middle, but it looks like, 5-piece bass, 2 guitarists, drums, vocals. Thank you. Then there's like this crest with like swords and flails. So yeah, looks like a power metal band to me.
Yep, that's exactly what they are in this time period. Well, I wasn't about to ask what you think this band would sound like, but you said power metal, so
yeah,
we can't really. I'm not going to hide that from you. That's exactly what this is. Sounds a lot like early Iron Maiden, to the point that when this record came out, I think people were saying like, "Oh, have you guys heard the new Iron Maiden song?" That's how they got their start. There's 2 songs on each side. Side 1's Queen of the Reich and Knight Rider. Side 2, Blinded and The Lady Wore Black. The Lady Wore Black was, I'll go into that when we do side 2. Queen of the Reich.
Interesting that they get their name from that. Like, the word Reich doesn't necessarily have to mean what you associate it with, but that's where most people's mind is going to go. So that was a bold choice on the... that was a choice on their part, I should say.
I wonder if they changed the QUEENSRČCHE part to the YCHE, so it wouldn't immediately look like.
So people wouldn't think they're a Nazi band?
Yeah. Well, and Jeff Tate, I think is the exact opposite of a Nazi. I'm pretty sure he's got socialist sympathies, or at least democratic socialist sympathies. So
yeah,
we'll put this on here, and then we'll see what you think of the first QUEENSRÍCHE EP.
All right.
And we are back. It is very very jarring how much shorter the EPs are compared to when we do the albums.
Yeah. Although I think if I'm going to listen to power metal, I would rather do it at EP length. Just because I think power metal for the most part is fine. I can enjoy it. But when it gets to album length, I don't know, I start to get tired of it. So I thought this was a nice bite-sized chunk. I enjoyed it more than I often do with power metal. So
yeah, this is probably one of the best examples of it. 2 great fantasy themed songs on the first side, Queen of the Reich and Knight Rider. What'd you think overall?
Yeah, they were doing kind of the Black Sabbath Beware the Devil thing with both of those. Not about the devil himself. So yeah, if you're going to evoke a certain regime with the word Reich, at least they portrayed it as bad. So it's, I thought both songs were pretty good. I liked it that the solo did the whole prog metal thing without being 20 minutes long.
Right. Yeah.
It stuck around. It did it long enough to do its thing and to be interesting and to give you something to latch onto. Then it went back to the rest of the song. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked just how much everything was going. And yeah, I do think for me a standout on the whole thing was Jeff Tate's vocals for both songs. He did some pretty interesting screams leading in.
Yeah, he is just a powerhouse. During this period, probably one of the best vocalists on the planet, I'd say. As he got older, his voice wore out, probably from too much touring, and he was a smoker for a long time, and he drinks a lot. So,
yeah,
unfortunately, not so much these days. I'd say Bruce Dickinson was able to hold on to his voice longer than Jeff was. But yeah, during this time period, from this EP probably up until the Promised Land album, Jeff Tate's vocals and lyrics, I think, were just some of the best that were coming out in heavy metal.
So he wasn't even a full member of the band yet. He was writing the lyrics.
On this one, he only wrote lyrics to the last song, and that was just because they didn't have any ideas of their own, so he just volunteered to do it. The lyrics on these first 2 songs, the first one was written by Chris DeGarmo, and that was Queen of the Reich, and Knight Rider was written by Michael Wilton, the other guitar player. They're kind of the brains of the band early on. morphs as Jeff Tate gets integrated into the group. But yeah, he ends up writing most of the lyrics once he gets integrated into the band.
Okay. And then, yeah, I think I would have to look it up, but do you know if this predates Knight Rider, the TV show? I think it does, like 82 versus whenever in the 80s Knight Rider, the car came out.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see.
Let's look this up real quick.
Same year, 1982.
Okay, so it was just...
Probably a coincidence.
Yeah, probably a coincidence. They probably wouldn't have named a song Knight Rider if they would have known there was a TV show about a talking car coming out.
I wonder if the song ever appeared in that show.
Be good if it did. I have never seen an entire episode of that show all the way through, so...
I don't think I have either. Maybe back when I was a kid and maybe it was on like Nick at Night or something. I used to watch a lot of those old TV shows on Nick at Night, and I probably couldn't tell you a thing about any of them these days.
Yeah. But yeah, this was like, I don't know, this was D&D music.
Yeah. I would definitely put this on during D&D. And the next album, The Warning, continues a lot in this vein. And one album I'm definitely going to want to show you at some point is Rage for Order, because they take kind of this sound from this EP and their album, and they mix it with like the glam of the period, but in a way that where it comes off as more gothic than anything else.
Yeah.
So I think you'd really like that one.
It didn't sound exactly like Iron Maiden to me. Maybe it's because I don't really see new wave of British heavy metal as the exact same thing as power metal. And so like the differences with that, but you know, like there's a little, this was cleaner than like Iron Maiden, even in the Bruce era. It, you know, didn't have like the scuzziness to it.
Yeah, I agree. I could see how somebody in the 80s who's like a casual metal listener could mistake this for Iron Maiden, but yeah, obviously as somebody that's listened to them my entire life, there are major differences in the way they play their instruments and the way that they approach their songwriting.
Yeah.
And I think this band overall sounds more American, whereas Iron Maiden sounds very British.
Yeah. And this one, I don't know. Like, you can argue that both Iron Maiden and, at least based off of these two songs, Queensryche can be a little corny, but they're not corny in the same way, you know? Like, Iron Maiden, like, there's a little bit of, you know, more self-awareness in this than I think Iron Maiden. Well, Iron Maiden's, you know, like, being very serious about British history. So,
yeah.
This is, you know, like, this is D&D music, while Iron Maiden is your dad painting warships music.
And I think these guys were either teenagers or just getting out at being teenagers when this was recorded. So the lyrics do sound very much like a bunch of boys that like to get together and play D&D together, because this would predate most video games as well. So
yeah, there's an earnestness to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, this EP and their next release are just some of my two favorite heavy metal records that have ever come out, and I love this one. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
All right, well, we got two more here. The first song,
Blinded.
That one was written by Michael Wilton. I think he did the lyrics, and Chris DeGarmo did the music, it looks like. And then The Lady Wore Black, the music was written by DeGarmo, and as I stated before, they didn't have lyrics for it, so Jeff Tate just took a crack at it, and yeah, even though he wasn't completely in the band at this point, he got a songwriting credit on that, and you know, it all worked out for him in the end. So
yeah. If you're already writing lyrics, you're in the band. Even if the handshake hasn't happened yet, that's, you know, at that point you're just in the band.
Yeah. And I'm sure that the plan was they would just move on with a different singer, but then it was successful. So that's I'm glad that happened for them.
Was this their only independent release, or was their first album independent too?
This was their only independent release. Yeah, they were on EMI by the time they put out The Warning.
Nice. This was very successful then.
Yeah. And yeah, you don't really hear that a lot of a band in this era doing a self-titled release, at least this professional looking. You know, I know Black Flag was a band that was putting out independent releases, and God, that had to have been so hard to do in this era to get somebody to press vinyl for you. I almost wonder how they did it.
Yeah. I mean, they probably paid a lot out of pocket.
Oh, they had to have, yeah. It must have been hell to be a musician in this era.
And the only way to release your music is expensive to create, like the physical product. Yeah.
Yeah, just everything just has to be prohibitively expensive at that time. And now it's just like, press a couple buttons, upload, the end. All right, well, we'll go ahead and throw on side 2 here. And that was side 2. What'd you think, David?
I thought that was good. I think it might have been just a little bit stronger than side 1. I guess with an EP, though, it's 4 songs. You can order them in any way. It's not like trying to fit stuff in an album and putting, like the song that doesn't quite work near the end of side 2 and bringing it down. So it was pretty good. I liked the way, I think Blinded might have been my favorite track on the whole thing. I thought it had like a good sense of urgency to it, and I really liked how menacing the bass sounded in that. And then I liked the way they just kind of, rather than having a hard end to that, just had it kind of transition into The Lady Wore Black.
Yeah, I also really liked that. Yeah, I really liked the heaviness of Blinded, and I really like how they utilized the backing vocals in that one as well. The fantasy lyrics on it really matched the vibe of the song, and yeah, that's definitely a really strong one. I don't know what my favorite one on this one is. I like this EP so much that I just kind of think of all 4 of these songs together. What did you think of The Lady Wore Black? It's kind of a ballad, kind of a heavier song at the same time.
Started as a ballad, became more like what the other 3 songs on the record were by the end. It sounded suitably big and epic. It was the only one that I wasn't 100% sure was about like a D&D game, but it still could have been, but it might not have been. So, it was the one that seemed like it could be a song about a chick, but it might not have been,
Yeah, Jeff Tate's the kind of guy that likes to write songs about chicks. So it definitely is, but it looks like he, I'm looking at the lyrics right now, and he definitely utilized the fantasy aspect of the other songs and applied it to this one. Pretty much on every album, Jeff Tate has a horny Jeff Tate song. So
yeah. So this was the horny Jeff Tate song.
Yeah, although it looks like in this song, the Lady Wore Black is cursed with immortality, and if somebody touches her soul, then they will also suffer. And I'm not sure if they'll suffer by being immortal or some other way. But yeah, I think it's kind of a song about a siren, basically. It's probably how I would interpret this.
So it could be about 2 things.
Yeah. Jeff Tate,
it's a nerd song and a chick song.
Exactly. It's a nerdy chick song. And Jeff Tate wanted to fuck the siren.
It's time you to the mast.
But yeah, one of my favorite EPs, probably one of the strongest heavy metal EPs you could ask for. Probably one of the best debuts of a band I've ever experienced. Definitely an EP I would recommend if you're into heavy metal or into D&D or fantasy or anything like that.
Yeah, it's interesting that came out in '82 because I don't think there was a lot of heavy metal music that sounded like that or approached that exact topic.
No, there's certainly pioneers.
Like there's a lot after that for sure, but this isn't like even the nerdier sides of like the early / proto metal bands like Sabbath or Zeppelin didn't quite go this far,
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely tell these guys were either fresh out of high school or were still in it. I don't know how old they were on this one, but
yeah, no songs about whiskey. Only one song kind of about a chick, but it's also in a nerdy way. So yeah,
yeah. And then one more thing I wanted to mention on this episode is this is an example of where the record company re-released this on CD and they did it correctly, because if you get the 2003 CD edition of this, you get the original 4 tracks, but then you also get a entire live album, basically. And that one, you get 9 live tracks, including a lot of them from their next album, Warning, and a few songs that didn't make it on either album. And it's really high quality. So yeah, so they took an EP and then they just slapped a whole live album onto it. So that's all of their remasters came with great track lists.
So it's one of those reissues where there's more bonus tracks than there is like the original like release that it's touting.
Yep. Yeah, an entire set recorded live in Tokyo, Japan on August 5th, 1984. Pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, so that was Queensryche. Next time I bring them in, we're going to listen to the Operation Mindcrime album, where you get to listen to the story of Nikki, who is a leftist mercenary type who joins an organization, and the organization has him assassinate people, and he also has a nun girlfriend who used to be a prostitute. So, yeah, you'll have that to look forward to.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I think we'll probably bring Andrew in for that one. This seems like an Andrew album to me.
Yeah.
That was the Queensryche EP. Overall, what'd you think overall?
Yeah, overall was interesting. It was pretty good. It was it was a lot of fun.
That's probably the best way you can put it. It's a lot of fun.
Mosquito just flew in my nose.
Oh, that sucks.
Anyway, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, that was Side 1, Side B, EP edition. I'm Steve.
I'm Dave. Catch you on the flip side.
Boom. Side 1, Side B is a Floof Goof Studios production. Check us out on the interwebs by going to my website, killrockmusic.com. That's KILRAVOCK music.com. And there's a tab for Side 1, Side B. And additionally, you can check out me and Dave's projects, The Alliterates and Lucid Fugue, respectively. You can also check us out on Instagram at KillRockMusicSWS and Dave_Diction. Thank you.
Yeah, never forget.
Disgusting.
An unlimited supply.